let's do a packing update. The first update that I want to talk about is that I now work for NetJets, which in the FAA world is a Part 91 or 135 carrier, as opposed to a Part 121 carrier. Now, if you don't know what those numbers mean, this is not the video that's going to explain the differences, but just know that at a very basic level, if you are in a 91 or 135 carrier, that's considered like corporate, and 121 is considered things like Delta, United, Frontier, Spirit, your basic commercial airlines. Now, the reason this is big for me is that now that I fly a smaller private jet, I actually have a lot more room in the back to store all my bags. Now, when I was flying for SkyWest, which was a regional airline, I flew the CRJ 200, 700, and 900, and if you've seen my episode 2, you'll know that I was limited in the amount of overhead compartment space I had by about 10 inches. That's how wide those things were. Whereas now, when I'm flying on the corporate side, I don't have that problem anymore. Now, if you've seen episode 2 to the Pack Like a Pilot series, you'll know that I never used the expandability option of my 22-inch Aurora roller bag, but now it's really not that big of a deal. And this kind of leads me into update 2, and that's that I work a 7-on, 7-off schedule with NetJets, which is exactly how it sounds. I'm gone for 7 days, home for 7 days, and that repetitive pattern. Now, I'm not going to go into the pros and the cons of this schedule, but what you can glean from this is that I now have to pack a lot more when I'm on the road, and so now I use that expandability option all the time, as in every single trip. When I was at SkyWest, I thought of ditching my current bag for a metal frame bag, but honestly now I'm pretty content to keep what I have. Update number 3 is that NetJets provides catered food for us every single day, and this is a big deal. When I used to spend all that time prepping food and putting it in my cooler bag or my cockpit bag, which you saw in episode 1, I now no longer have to do that, and I can use that bag for other things. Now, I still use the same rule when I pack, and that's that just when you think you've packed enough, take one item out. Even on a 7-day schedule, you'd be surprised at how little you actually have to take with you. In terms of my other rule of checking your schedule prior to going out on a trip, that's not really the case anymore. I don't know what my schedule is going to look like until the night prior, as in where I'm going or what I'm doing. I just know that I'm gone for 7 days. Now, admittedly, this can kind of be difficult. And for example, a couple weeks ago, I was down in Mexico. Weather was nice and warm. We were on a beach. And literally 2 days later, I was in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, fighting a snowstorm. Now, all that being said, I still do have like a basic summer and winter packing list. The biggest differences being that I usually bring like a jacket, hat, and gloves during the winter time, and in the summer, it's just maybe not as much. But we'll get into that right now, and let's talk about my roller bag first. Now, the biggest change that I made in terms of packing my roller bag is that I now use packing cubes. They're super cheap on Amazon, and they're so effective. Now, some of you will look at this and say, dude, that's a no-brainer. Of course you should use packing cubes. I mean, why didn't you think of that earlier? And that is a valid point, but you would be surprised at the number of pilots, at least that I ran into, that don't use packing cubes. At SkyWest, I even asked a lot of the captains that I flew with if they use packing cubes, and the majority of them said no. In fact, I asked one captain, and he explained it best. He said, dude, I'm home for like 2 to 3 days, and usually I'm packing the night prior, and I'm just lucky if I get everything in my bag to go out on the road the next day. And that's very true. Every single time I unpacked when I got home, I felt like I was repacking immediately, and I just never bothered with the organization of those packing cubes. I just kind of threw everything into the bag and off I went. But now, since every bit of space counts, I use packing cubes. I have this large one, and I put all of my normal clothes inside of it. That's 6 undershirts, 6 pairs of underwear, a pair of pants, a pair of shorts. Lately, I've been packing swim shorts as well, a collared shirt, and then 1 t-shirt. And in the winter, I pack a light sweater or long sleeve shirt. In the smaller one, I consider this my work clothes bag, and I pack an extra pair of pants, 3 shirts, and my black socks. In this little zipper bag, I pack my workout clothes, 5 pairs of shorts, 5 workout shirts, and 5 pairs of socks. I try and work out every day, and unless I can do laundry, I have to wear 2 of these sets at least twice, but it is what it is. I just don't have any more room. I then place my pajamas, which is just a pair of shorts and a shirt, in the upper outer pocket, and then I place my sandals in this outside pocket. Now, in the wintertime, I do place a hat, which my mom knit me, and a pair of gloves in the outside pocket, and I roll up this jacket shell, which was given to me by NetJets, and cram that into the side as well. It does look bulky, and it is, but even when I'm deadheading somewhere, this thing has fit in every overhead compartment so far. Now, in my cooler bag, the setup is pretty much the same. In the front outside pocket, I put my sunglasses, and I no longer wear those little seatbelt covers anymore, because here at NetJets, the belts don't cause those little black marks anymore, and I don't really know why. Maybe it's because the plane isn't so dirty. On the next pocket, I still have my Kinderfluff visors. The side pocket that has the ID tag on it still contains my little folder, which has my passport, medical, and pilot license. This pocket holds my computer charger. I will stop and say real quick that a bunch of people commented that I should buy a better computer charger which charges multiple items at once. I actually settled on this one on Amazon, and I'll link it below. It takes up a little less room, but more importantly, I can use it to charge so many items at once, which is awesome. My computer, iPad, and paper logbook still go in the outside pocket. I place my AirPod Pros and keys in this little pocket on the top. I'm actually going to feature these in another video because I have an opinion on them and I think these things are awesome. And then in this top pocket, I keep that little zipper bag with my chargers, my hard drive, some vitamins, and other stuff. This is kind of like my junk drawer or catch drawer as they call it. My book still goes on the bottom, and the biggest change, I put my shoes in the cooler section. Now the most common comment that I got on my episode 2 of my roller bag was people thought it was super gross, and they really emphasized that I would put my shoes in my roller bag without covering them in like a plastic bag or something. And to be honest, they're probably right. Now I did listen, and I placed my running shoes in this black bag now that I got from somewhere, I just can't remember. And then I placed what I call my everyday shoes in these plastic bags and then placed them in the cooler section. Now I can already hear it in my head, people are gonna say, for a guy who says that just when you think you've packed enough, you should pull one item out, you sure do bring a lot of shoes, and I do. But here's why. If I'm running outside in the middle of the summer in Florida and I'm sweating like mad, which I do by the way, I don't want to wear those same nasty shoes out to dinner that evening if I decide to go out. And so I bring one extra pair of shoes. And I've kind of just resigned myself to the fact that I'm just not going to negotiate that. And then lastly, in the cooler section, I roll up the inner lining to my jacket from NetJets, and that becomes my wear it out at night jacket if I do go out, or I put the inner liner into my shell to make a nice warm jacket if the temp is super cold. The last thing I bring is this camera bag, which I featured in episode 2. I bring my camera gear along because I like to film things in general, and you never know when you'll have time to make little videos on the road. Then I place my Bose A20s on the top, zip it closed, and that fits nicely on the top of the bag. Okay, before I sign off here, I want to bring up a few quick follow-up points. And the first one is, in terms of packing for NetJets versus SkyWest, I was surprised that I didn't notice a huge difference in that process. I do pack a little bit more for NetJets versus SkyWest because I am gone longer, and space is at a little bit more of a premium. I have to be a little bit smarter about how I pack, but it wasn't as difficult to pack for 7 days as I thought it would be. The second point that I want to bring up is, since I started making this video, I have actually gotten rid of my camera bag, and now I just bring my roller bag and my cooler bag with me on all my trips. I just got a little smarter about how I packed and realized that I could probably consolidate it all into just 2 bags. So on that note, keep in mind that packing is always evolving, especially for me. I'm always trying to get it down to just the essentials and not take any more than I need. I've learned to experiment in all different kinds of ways. If this method doesn't work, then I try this method, and I just keep doing that until I can finally get it honed down to where I want it. If nothing else, I hope these videos help you out and maybe give you some ideas on how to pack, or maybe pack a little bit better, or you can let me know in the comments if you think I'm doing something wrong. And if you'd like to, maybe like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.